Hello, beautiful people. I hope all is well. I hope all is well. If you are new to my page, my name is Allison Wellington, certified dating and relationship coach, and I primarily work with busy professional women to teach them how to attract and keep the partners that they deserve. I'm doing all the things. I'm going live here. I just went live on Facebook. I just then clicked the live to go live on YouTube. I'm also letting Instagram know that this is the place that they need to be. Let me press send on that one. Okay, good. And we could jump right into what we are discussing today. We have about 15 minutes together, so I want to make sure that this time is valuable and useful. Quick house cleaning. So I am going to be hosting, and I don't think I've hosted this thing in 6 months. I'm going to be hosting the Partner You Deserve live free training. Sorry, it is not free. I'm going to be hosting the Partner You Deserve live training on Wednesday, the 16th at 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to go ahead and put the link right here. It's going to be in the comments. It's going to be in the caption. It's going to be pinned everywhere so that there's no reason why you cannot get in on this thing. In the Partner You Deserve training, I am going to be going through literally the 5 pillars that I use to teach my clients, that I've been using to teach my clients over the last 5 years on how to get into the best relationship of their lives in 6 months or less. My clients are happily committed, engaged, married, buying houses, having babies, traveling the world, having the companionship and the support and the partnership that they've always dreamed of. And so for the training on Wednesday, I'm going to be teaching the 5 pillars of what I teach my clients in my Partner You Deserve coaching program, in the Partner You Deserve training. It is a whopping $27. Whoop-dee-doo. So what you're going to do is, if you are struggling with your love life and you want to do something different so that you can get a different result, you're going to go ahead and click the link and register for the training. So that is the housekeeping. Let's get into what we are going through today. In preparation for our training, which is on Wednesday, the 16th, 7 p.m. Eastern, I want to talk to you about a phenomenon that I see a lot of my ladies experiencing, which is that you are meeting men, but you're either not meeting the types of guys that you like, or if you are meeting and connecting with the types of guys that you like, it keeps falling flat. So again, I'm talking to my ladies who are either not being approached by the types of guys that they are actually interested in, or they are, but it keeps falling flat. So what are the 3 things that you can do differently so that you can start attracting the attention from the gentleman that you actually like, and or keeping the attention of the men that you actually like? So I know that many of you are so tired of meeting these guys and it goes absolutely nowhere. You're outside, you're going to events, you're going to the brunches, you're going to the concerts, you're going to the events that I tell you to attend, and you're doing your part, but somehow the conversation isn't sticking, or you're not attracting the types of guys that you like. You're leaving these events and you're thinking, did I do something wrong? Or why doesn't these things ever go anywhere, right? So here's the truth. It's not that you're doing something wrong. You've mastered showing up. And let me tell you, that's half the battle, because so many women have an unreasonable expectation that their husband is going to be delivered to them on their porch like it's an Amazon package, right? And so you're doing half the work. You're mastering showing up. You're not mastering standing out. And that's the issue. So you've learned how to be in the room, but not how to command the energy of the room in a way that makes men truly see you. A misunderstanding that a lot of women have is that they'll say expressions like, you know, what's the expression? Something along the lines of loving, like, he loving me for me. That's what it is. You have to love me for me. I got to like you first, right? So before I like you, I have to be drawn to you. And so these are the things that we're going to be covering over the next 15 minutes or so that you are attracting the type of attention that you desire. So I'm going to help you through this live stream, through this training. I'm going to help you change that, where I'm going to show you how you're going to turn your everyday encounters into mastering your connections. You're not chasing, you're not performing, you are aligning your energy, you're aligning your presence, you're aligning your communication to be the type of woman who wants to be loved. Does that make sense? Okay, let me take out my notes. So The first thing that we're going to be covering is presence versus positioning. Presence versus positioning. So you're showing up, but you're not necessarily standing out. Being in the room on its own is not enough for your energy to say that I am available and I am looking for someone to share this life with. Many times, sometimes the energy instead says, I'm unavailable and I don't need anybody. And I know you might be thinking in this day and age, like nobody needs anybody. Need literally probably no, right? Like you're 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, and you've been single for a while, you care for yourself. You pay your own bills, you're living a fulfilling lifestyle with your family, with your friends. You're traveling, you're doing the things, so you don't need somebody. However, we need to get out of the mindset of the actual definition. And now I'm a person who always says that words matter, but in this particular case, no, you may not need a man in your life, but you'd like one. If you are a part of my community and you are on this channel and you're watching the live stream on Instagram. I don't know why you should be on YouTube. You are on Facebook and watching this live stream. You would like partnership. You would like companionship. So with all of that being said, we have to change the way of, well, I don't need. Yeah, you don't need. I know you don't need. I don't need either, right? Quick story. So before my husband and I got married, before my husband and I think were even engaged, I was looking to buy a house. I was living and have lived in Brooklyn my entire life. I work in Brooklyn. I would prefer to stay in Brooklyn. I didn't want to leave, right? However, the way that my W-2 was set up and what I was qualified for, I was only qualified for, and I say only for my New Yorkers, because other people in other states are going to be like, what? That's a lot of money. I was only qualified for $400,000. That is the most. And also, if you're familiar with home ownership, they recommend that you don't go to the highest that you're actually qualified for, right? So at max, I was qualified for $400,000. That is the most that I'd be allowed to spend on a house. Now, mind you, you also need your closing costs. You need this, you need that. You got to furnish the place. You got to fix things up. Max 400,000. I said, all right, cool. This is before I was engaged to Andrew. We were boyfriend and girlfriend. So I'm like, well, that means I'm priced out of New York. Like maybe Staten Island, but no shade to Staten Island. I'm not moving there, right? So I'm going to do the next best thing, meaning the closest thing to New York City that I can get, which is Yonkers. If you're not from New York, DMX is from Yonkers. Mary J. Blige is from Yonkers. It's like the next neighborhood right outside of New York City above the Bronx. That's where I could take my $400,000 and go. So I'm telling my mom this. I'm sad, right? Because I want to buy a house where I'm from. I'm from Brooklyn. I want to live in Brooklyn. I work in Brooklyn. My family's in Brooklyn. My man is in Harlem, right? New York City nonetheless. So I'm telling my mom, and my mom is like, yo, do you want to just ask Andrew whether or not y'all want to come in together on this thing and buy a house together? Now, having an old school West Indian mom, this shocked me. I would never imagine that she would advise her daughter to go in on a house with a man that's not her fiance or her husband. We were just about to, matter of fact, I think when we started our search, it was a few months before we became engaged. And then we bought the house like a month after we got married, right? It's a process. So my mom is like, do you want to go in on with Andrew on this? I'm like, I'm surprised at this kind of advice from an old school West Indian mom. I said, I think that's an excellent idea. I was scared. I wasn't going to do all that. In fear of my mom's judgment, right? West Indian, you come from that family, you understand. Immigrant, you understand. So I asked Andrew and he said, sure. When we brought our two W-2s together, now we qualified for a different amount. And that amount put us in position to buy a house right here in Brooklyn, 7 blocks away from my mom. Multifamily, right? So we're establishing generational wealth. Driveway, so we actually have parking in New York City. Location, we're 7 blocks away from mom. So when we have kids, we have some additional support there, right? 15 minutes away from where I was working at the time. Needless to say, did I need a man to buy a house? No. Did having a man and buying a house make my life easier and my experience more desirable? Absolutely. So what we need to do is shift our energy in that direction. You don't need a man. Of course, no, you don't need one. You like one. And let's be honest about that. So that means that we need to show up in a way that exudes the energy that we do desire commitment. We do desire partnership. Therefore, we desire this man to come over and approach us. So that means that we are learning how to use our body language, our placement, our eye contact to signal approachability without saying a word. So when my ladies talk about that they don't want to be seen or deemed as overly aggressive and leading, I get that. So that means that you have to double down elsewhere. Yes, this thing requires effort. Everything in life worth something requires effort. So if you are not going to do the approaching, fine. I'm not going to push you past too much past your boundaries and your limits, but that means that our approach has to be different. That means that our tone of voice has to be different. That means that our smiles has to be different. Our eye contact has to be different. That means that the chest is opened up. That means I'm not scrolling on the phone as if I'm too busy to talk. That means that the headphones are removed. That means that this is my kids' book, right? My kids' pop-up book. The book is put away. I have to give people the impression that I am approachable so that they can approach. But when I'm talking to y'all, and this is not me being fake, when I'm talking to y'all, I'm gonna put on my teacher voice because I'm teaching right now. So right now, I am going to put on my teacher's voice. Right now, I'm going to be assertive. Right now, I'm going to exude confidence so that you guys listen and do what I tell you to do. Right? It's a different approach. It doesn't make me fake. It means that I'm taking off one hat and putting on another. When I enter my classroom of YouTube, when I enter my classroom of Zoom, when I enter my classroom with the one-on-one coaching sessions, when I enter my classroom in St. Martin, when we go on the retreat next year, this is the Allison that you guys are going to receive. Andrew Wellington does not receive this version most times. We're a married couple. We disagree sometimes. He's not getting that. It doesn't make me fake. That makes Allison the wife versus Allison the coach. So I need you to be Angela the wife, Angela the single woman who wants to be approached, Angela the corrections officer, Angela the mom, Angela the sister, Angela the friend. Those are different Angelas. It doesn't make any of those different Angelas fake. It's a different version so that you are getting what you want out of the situation and out of life. Right? The approach has to be different. So that's bullet point 1, presence versus positioning. Okay. Number 2, conversations that convert. We need to skip the interview style questioning and start with something that is playful or observational. This is your first time here. The DJ is amazing. The speakers poured into us. Observation, right? That's how you can build the chemistry fast. Number 2, you are focusing on emotional connection, not an information exchange. Again, Allison, the coach, is not even an exchange. It's an information share. I am teaching you how to navigate dating and relationships successfully to get into the best relationships of your lives in 6 months or less. This is not sexy. I am confident that anyone who would be interested in me doesn't turn on my YouTube and say, oh my God, Allison is so sexy. You might say Allison is pretty. You might say Allison is a little rough with us. You might say Allison is an amazing coach because I see all her testimonials. You may say Allison's an amazing teacher. You're not saying, oh my God, Allison is so sexy. Oh my God, I feel an emotional connection. She's the mean sis in your head. She's the mean friend who's telling you what to do. So we need to focus on an emotional connection and not an information exchange, asking questions, trying to get resumes. This is not the time for resumes. Okay. Also, I need you to know how to end a conversation on a high note, a high point, leaving him wanting more versus the over-explaining and the oversharing. Now it becomes a therapy session. Absolutely not. We're not here talking to people in public for 30 minutes. No. 5 minutes, if there's something there, if there's a slight spark, I'm not expecting you to want to drop your drawers, but there's a spark there. Well, it's a pleasure connecting with you. I got to go back over to my girlfriends, got to go back over to the table. We're leaving early, whatever it looks like. It was a pleasure connecting with you. And then we turn and we walk away. Allow the gentleman to say, oh, wait, Simone, before you go, let's exchange. And on a high note, we're not over-explaining, oversharing, trying to convince someone that we're worthy and valuable. Therefore, they should take it to the next level. All right. So we have presence over positioning. Number 2, conversations that convert. The last piece And again, if you are just joining, my name is Allison Wellington, certified dating and relationship coach. I primarily work with busy professional women to teach them how to attract and keep the husbands that they deserve. I am doing a deep dive and teaching my 5 pillars on how I work with my clients to get them into the best relationships of their lives in 6 months or less during my Partner You Deserve live training, which will be on Thursday, October the 16th. 7 p.m. Eastern. I have put the link in the comments. Let me go over to Instagram land. Let me put it here too. Hope I copy and paste that right. You can also comment or DM the word. I don't think I did that right. Yeah, here we go. No. There we go. So it's in the comments right now on Instagram. It's in the bio. It's comment or DM the word deserve. It's everywhere. It is a whopping $27 for me to teach you in an hour what I do with my clients in 8 weeks. Okay. This is just supportive. So this is additional support for those who are preparing for that training. I want you to get the most out of it. So these are supplementals to get you from point A to point B. If you are just tuning in, we are discussing how we are turning our in-person interactions with gentlemen that we actually do like into something that prolongs, right? Or attracting the attention from the gentlemen that we do like. Many of you are meeting men, it's going absolutely nowhere. You're going outside, you're going to the events I've been telling you to go to, but somehow the conversation either doesn't happen or it doesn't stick. And so far we have covered 2 bullet points: presence versus positioning, conversation that converts. The last one is the energy audit. I need you to check your vibes, right? When we cannot be giving anything that's angry, jaded, or desperate. If you are giving off the energy that you are angry, jaded, or desperate, you are going to attract no one, or you're going to attract all the wrong ones. Instead, I need you to be giving curiosity. You're interested. You're leaning in. You're listening. Women are notorious for talking too much. You need to listen. Number one, that gentleman feels value, that you care about what's going on in his life and his experience. And then number 2, you get to catch them in them saying something stupid that will ruin this whole thing, which is excellent. I want them to say the wrong things so that I would be more inclined to remove myself and move on in that experience or wherever I'm attending, so that I can speak to somebody else, so I can go back to my table and enjoy the event. I want them to ruin it immediately, because let's ruin it now versus ruining it on a phone when I could have been talking to someone else or doing something else. Let them ruin it now versus on a first date when I done paid for a cab and childcare and new lipstick and a new dress and new shoes. Let them ruin it now versus 6 months down the line where I think that we're going in the right direction and I realize he doesn't want what I want. 6 months, 6 years. Listen, be curious, be open, be confident. You cannot be guarded or come across as a skeptic. I understand why you may be skeptical, but you can't come across that way. He didn't do anything to you. He didn't hurt you. He didn't play you. He didn't cheat on you. He didn't lie on you, at least not yet. Therefore, it is not fair for us to mistreat other people, to come across as angry, jaded, guarded, or skeptical or cynical because they're simply a man. You don't want to be treated unfairly simply because you're a woman. Therefore, we cannot do that to them unless they've earned it. Okay, energy audit. Part 2. I need you to learn how to read what your energy attracts and then adjust it without self-blame. So do an audit in your mind. What has been the history? What has been the track record of the types of gentlemen? Don't tell me F-boys. Very specifically, are they gentlemen who are unemployed? Are they gentlemen who don't take care of their children? Like, what is a common thread of behavior? Without blaming yourself, there is some accountability, right? But I also don't want you beating yourself up all day and all night. What are you going to do differently so that you can stop attracting those guys? Where are you going to go differently so that you can stop attracting those types of guys? And then the last part of the energy audit is that I want you to master the art of alignment. Your desire for connection should match your daily energy, your daily mindset, your daily body language. I cannot tell you how annoying it is to speak to people every day. I went to CultureCon on Saturday. There was some people, and Sunday, some people who approached me. Oh, Alice, I like your content. I was impressed. I was surprised and I was happy, right? So, of course, I'm not going to just give you a hug and maybe a selfie and keep it moving. What's the plan? What are we doing? You're here at CultureCon for the CultureCon, but what else are we doing? What did you wear? How do you feel about what you're wearing? Who did you approach? Who has approached you? What are the next steps? And it's and excuses. How are you going to complain about a circumstance or be unhappy about a circumstance and you refuse to do anything about it? Refuse. You can't be for real. You're not for real. You're not serious. You're not serious about this thing. And what really frustrates me is that you've been serious about everything else in your life. That's why your career is in order. Your degrees are in order. Your finances are in order. You bought houses, cars. Your debt is low. Your credit score is high. You're getting your fitness in line. You're working with your therapist. But yet you're not working on your love life because you feel like it's out of your control. That's ridiculous. You haven't let anything else fall out of your control before. Take control now. Do something different to get a different result. And as we wrap up, that may start with, and that should start with, my Partner You Deserve training, which is on Thursday, the 16th, 7 p.m. Eastern. Yes, it'll be recorded, but I want you there live if you can be. It is $27. All you have to do is click the link that I put everywhere, in the caption, in the comments, in my bio, so that you can show up differently to get the result that you claim that you desire. All right, folks, I have a consultation and I cannot be late. This is a woman who is taking her love life seriously. So I will see you then. Bye-bye.